guys. Do apologise for that. Hello and welcome to Mid-Kent College, and thank you for joining us on our webinar today. My name's Sophie and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. And we are joined by the fantastic Rachel from one of our careers advisors. Lovely way.
Hi.
So usually when we host our open events, our visitors' feedback has said that they really do benefit and really appreciate coming into our college, exploring all our fantastic facilities and seeing all our tutors and getting to have a nice conversation with them. Unfortunately, we can't let you into our campuses at the moment, but what we can offer you is 360 photos of some of our classes and workshops. So if you do want to check them out, please go to our website and have a peek at them there. But what we can offer you is 30 minutes access to one of our fantastic careers advisors, who I'll pass you on to very soon. So we really do hope that this is really helpful and beneficial for you today. So with that said, you've probably seen down the bottom of your screen, there is a chat box. So we really want to hear from you. If you have any questions, any queries, please do make sure you send a message to us. We have two fantastic members of staff behind the scenes ready and waiting for your questions. And then some of those questions will be put forward to Rachel a little bit later on. So please do get in contact. No question is a silly question. We want to hear from you. So before I pass you over to Rachel, I'm now going to play a quick intro video from our principal. Nope, no, I'm not. I'm going to hand it over straight to you, Rachel.
Okay. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you find this useful. As Sophie said, it'd be great if we could see you at campus, but obviously the world is somewhat insane at the moment. So hopefully you'll still get something really valuable out of this. What I want to do really is give you sort of a bit of a whistle-stop tour of who the careers team are at Mid-Kent College and how we can support you. And then I want to do a little bit of just exploring some concepts around post-16 options and hopefully put a few of your minds at ease in terms of how you make decisions around kind of what's going on for you in this time of choices and making a decision regarding your pathways. So just to introduce us as a team, so there are currently sort of three of us in the Mid-Kent College careers team at the moment, and we are all qualified level 6 qualified careers guidance advisors. So although we are employed by the college, we're not just accessible by our students. We do speak to students who are considering joining us, also maybe students who have left us. So we are sort of a service for all. If parents want to talk to us, we're able to do that. If you're a year 11, a year 10, or somebody that's not been in education for a while and is thinking about rejoining education, we are available to speak to you all. So what do we do? So we can offer you confidential and impartial careers appointments. So the confidential part is important. So if you are thinking of coming to Mid-Kent College and you want to come in and find out a little bit more about it, and you want to know what studying at Mid-Kent could maybe lead you on to, but perhaps you don't want your school to know, we don't have to report back to anybody about the fact that you've had an appointment. Also similarly, if you're an existing student and maybe you're thinking about doing something different for next academic year, we don't have to report back to your tutors that we've had a meeting to discuss your options. Now the really important part of that first point is impartial. So as I said to you before, we are employed by Mid-Kent College. However, we are student focused. We are client centered. So when you come to us, say for example that you're a year 11 student at Raynham School for Girls, for example, and you want to come talk to us about, I like the idea of college, I like the idea of sixth form, I've heard of apprenticeships, I want to know more, we will explore all of your options with you. So yep, we love working at Mid-Kent College, we're employed by Mid-Kent College, but under no circumstances will we pressure you or try to sway your decision to come to Mid-Kent College. We will give you the impartial facts and information about each route you could potentially choose and support you in making a decision as to which route you think is going to be the most suitable for you at that time. So we help you to understand your options and how to make choices. So as I said, you may be thinking about your post-16 options at the moment, and that's why you've joined us, and that's fantastic. So you've done a brilliant thing today by attending open sessions, by coming onto the careers session and finding out a bit more about this option. So we can go through all the different options with you. As I say, apprenticeships, staying on at sixth form, accessing a different sixth form, coming to college and what that means, apprenticeships, and also training. And so we can support you as well in how to make make choices. So it could be that you know what the options are. I'm sure perhaps your schools have kind of gone through, okay, you've got these choices and these options in front of you. But sometimes it can be really daunting to try to sort of narrow it down into a choice that you want to make. So we're there to be able to support you in doing that. And that's something we're going to explore a little bit later. So we provide you with information about jobs, employers, apprenticeships, further study and more. So not only do we look at post-16 options, but we also talk careers, because that's what we're there for, and we talk about jobs that things may lead on to. We can explore employment opportunities with you should that be relevant to you at that stage. Obviously things are going to be of more importance to you at different stages through your journey. So from kind of contracting with you at the beginning of our meeting and decide and kind of clarifying what you want to get out of the support, we can pinpoint where we go with it and decide what you want to talk about. We can help you to explore and understand your own interests and skills and link these to possible career ideas. So one of the biggest things we get is people coming to us saying, I have absolutely no idea what I want to do. And that's absolutely fine. As I say, we'll go into that a little bit more in a minute. But what we can do is help you to identify things about yourself and how that might piece together to shape maybe a next step that you take, or the future pathway that you want to go down. Sometimes we find it really, really difficult to say nice things about ourselves. We find it really difficult to identify our strengths and our abilities and the things we're really good at. So what we want to do is to be able to support you in drawing those out and then looking at those and seeing how they may fit into different pathways, different career opportunities, different employment opportunities. Now, I do have to say, and it's really important with this, we don't have a magic book that we can open and say, right, okay, well, I've identified that you're a paramedic. Off you go. That's your job. That's what you do now. We don't have the ability to tell you what you're going to do with your career or what you're going to do in the future, but we can certainly work with you to identify pathways and plans that are right for you at that time. We guide you if you feel your course is not right for you or if college is not for you. So this perhaps is a little bit more relevant for maybe some of you who might be joining us that are already existing students and are thinking about changing your options for next year. Or if you do decide to join us, please be aware that if at any point you are unsure about whether you want to continue at college or whether the course that you're on is right for you, the careers team are available to support you with that and to guide you through kind of what the process is if you would like to change course or if you'd like to go on to something different. So that's a little bit of an overview of what we do. Now, moving on to post-16 options. So you are at an incredibly exciting time in your life. Now, it may not always seem like it because it can be, as I said from the top, a little bit daunting. You're not sure what you should do. You're not sure if you want to do A-levels. You're not sure if you want to come to college. You've heard about apprenticeships, but you're not exactly sure what they're all about. But the important thing is that this is a time where you get to decide. So daunting as it may seem, it is also incredibly exciting because through your school journey, chances are that your parents picked the senior school that you went to. You were probably limited in options for the GCSE choices that you took, depending on kind of what your school was able to offer. But now is your time where you get to choose what that next step is. If you want to stay at sixth form, if you want to go to a different sixth form, if you've always really liked the idea of studying performing arts but had never had the chance to do so before, and you really want to go to college and absorb yourself in performing arts, it's a brilliant opportunity for you to make decisions about your next step. But as I say, that can come with some fear and some concern of the unknown. And am I going to make the right choice? Am I going to pick the right thing? What if I don't like it? My parents think I should stay at sixth form. My teachers want me to stay at sixth form. My friends are going to college. I think I want to do an apprenticeship. It can be really confusing and it can be really daunting. And having done a lot of work with year 11s, they get what I class as ostrich syndrome. They kind of bury their heads in the sand about it because they kind of hope it'll just go away or an option will just present itself and it'll all be sorted. Now, this isn't going to go away, but it doesn't have to be scary. As I say, it can be really exciting and it can be an opportunity for you to really drill down into what excites you, what interests you, what you think you're going to enjoy studying for the next 2 to 3 years and maybe further on. So if you're not sure what to do, and you're a little bit confused about your options, we've come up with some kind of key things that you could think about. So research, so that's one of the important things. Now you've done, as I say, a brilliant thing by attending the open session today and any other kind of open sessions that you've been to, because that's where you'll get a feel for what different institutions are able to offer you. So hopefully your sixth form is offering you something like this. Perhaps you've joined some other sixth form virtual open days. Perhaps you might be able to go to some physical ones possibly. You've come along to the Mid-Kent College one. You might look at North Kent College, you might look at something regarding apprenticeships and other training opportunities. So that's a brilliant way for you to start doing your research to find out what each different place is able to offer you. You also might want to couple that with some careers research as well. So a little bit later on, kind of down in my slide, we talk about careers matching assessments. So for those of you who are really unsure as to what you want to do, it might be a really good idea to get onto some careers websites. And there's sort of really good ones that enable you to do some skills matching and some likes and interests matching, and it starts to generate some career ideas for you. Now, all to be taken with a pinch of salt, but it gives you a really good springboard and a good jumping off point to start thinking about, okay, this is most of the jobs it's coming up with are showing me as being quite a caring, compassionate person. Yeah, so I suppose I am that. Okay, let's have a look at the different types of careers and jobs that are within that. Let's look at health and social care. Let's look at social working. Let's look at healthcare. Let's look at counselling and psychology and things like that. And that might support you in identifying maybe a cluster of A levels that you want to study, or a particular subject that you might like to study at college, or perhaps a pathway in terms of work-based learning should you be looking at an apprenticeship. So doing your research, having a look at some career websites, attending open days, and talking to friends and family. Now, they are really good at being able to support you in identifying things about yourself that you maybe don't. So as I said previously, we can find it really difficult to say nice things about ourselves. Quite often when I'm with a student, I say, okay, tell me the things that you're good at, things that you enjoy doing. Nothing. I'm not good at anything. Well, the chances are, if we're honest, you're probably actually very good at a lot of things. And so by talking to your friends and family, they will be able to kind of draw that out with you and go, well, you remember that time that you organised that party for Nan and you managed to collect all of the money from the family and that was really hard, and you ordered the cake, and you're really good at communicating with people. And so discuss things with your friends and family, because chances are they'll be able to kind of give you little nuggets of information and wisdom that you've maybe not considered, and kind of help you in being kind of really positive about what you want to do. Now, once again, with that, do also take it with a pinch of salt, because what I don't want is for people to do what other people want them to do. So there can be that pressure that maybe parents, we love them, but they have a specific idea what they want you to do. And then you have friends that are going, well, I'm going to college to do animal care. You should come with me and do animal care. And maybe you've kind of got a bit of interest in that, but you're not quite sure you're going to want to study that for the next 2 to 3 years. Don't be swayed by what somebody else wants you to do. Teachers are going to absolutely love to have you stay on at sixth form and be in their class, and oh my god, you're so good at history GCSE, we want you to stay on and do A-level history. Now, there may be a point in that, but it's got to be something that you want to do, that you feel you're going to enjoy doing, and not because somebody else has swayed you into doing it. So absolutely talk to friends and family, talk to teachers, kind of keep that conversation open, but at the end of the day, it's got to come from you, and it's got to be what you want to do. So consider the skills you have and those you would like to develop. So chances are by now, from studying your GCSE options, for being at school for as many years as you have, you probably have started to identify that you are quite artistic or creative, or that you're really good with numbers, or that you really like being the centre of attention, you love to perform. So you might have already identified that there's things about yourself and you want to move in that kind of direction with it, and that's absolutely fantastic. Some of you, as I said at the beginning, may decide that you want to do something that you've never done before. So perhaps you didn't have the option to pick art and design as part of your GCSE options, but yet you're constantly doodling at home and you're really creative and you love photography and you love sketching and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with also looking to develop new skills. Also, what we tend to get a lot of is students come in and go, well, I did all right at my health and social care GCSE, I'll probably just do that at college then. But it doesn't really excite them. It's just something that they were okay at. You can try new things. You don't have to stick with something just because you know it. If you're good at that thing and you really enjoy it, then and you think that you can kind of see yourself moving in that pathway, then that's absolutely fantastic. But this is also an opportunity for you to develop new skills and follow a new direction and follow a new pathway. So once again, that's why this is so exciting and such a really good time for you to kind of start thinking about how you want to shape your future and how you want to move forward with things. Okay. So something I want to draw upon, which I think is very relevant to this year, is skills, or our skills. So this year has chucked us a real curveball, hasn't it? And we as a careers team have had to be sort of thinking about how we talk about careers and jobs and how people are moving forward with them. We're in a time of uncertainty. We don't know what is going to happen with certain job sectors, certain careers. It may well be that we can't always necessarily go straight into the thing that we want to go into at the moment, because the kind of the way that the world is, it might not allow for it at the minute. So what we want people to do is to focus on skills, and this is what we've been thinking about a lot. So when you go into the world of work, what they'll be looking for are technical skills. So these will be the skills that you would gain from, let's say, if you're a plumber, you need to understand plumbing, you need to know about pipes, you need to know about water pressure, you need to know equipment, you need to know, you'll eventually maybe have to know about gas and that kind of thing. So those are your technical skills. Then what you have also are your basic skills. So that would be things like your maths, English, and ever increasingly digital skills. So employers are looking for you to have those. So that's why when you join us for a study program at college, if you haven't already gained your maths and English, it's something you will have to do, as employers are really, really keen for their workforce to have maths and English skills, and that's why they're so important. And then the other thing that employers are looking for are something called essential skills. Now, these essential skills are skills that can be transferred into any area, really. So it's things like communication, prioritization, organization, team working, even things like just enthusiasm and proactivity. So when you're looking at your choices, there is this notion that you have to get it right. You've got to get it right. And that's what makes people want to bury their head in the sand, because they're so scared that they might get it wrong. And so there's this real pressure, what you're doing with the rest of your life, what you're going to be when you're older, what you're going to do when you leave school. We want you staying at sixth form. Well, I think you should go to college. There's all of this pressure, and you get so pressured to get it right. Okay, what you need to, well, not what you need to do, but what you could look at it in terms of is skills. No matter what you do, whether you get it right or you get it wrong, you are going to be developing skills. And those skills and the abilities that you develop as part of studying, be it at college, be it at sixth form, or an apprenticeship, can be transferred into different areas. So technical skills can be taught. They can be taught if you go onto a course and you realise it's not for you, you can transfer onto a different course possibly the year after and build up those technical skills. The basic skills, as I say, maths, English, digital skills, they'll come from whatever you're doing. But the essential skills are the things that you can transfer into every different thing that you do, from whether you're doing health and social care, animal care, history A level, law A level. You are going to be developing essential skills that you can transfer into any area that you choose to go on to in the future. So I don't know if it helps or not, but I want people to not feel as stressed and as pressured about having to make choices in terms of their post-16 options, because no matter what you do next, you are going to be developing skills, and those skills are going to enable you to go on to different things at different times in your life. And that's never been more important than it is now, because people have found themselves thinking that they're going to do one specific thing forever and ever, but actually the world has changed in such a way that they now find themselves having to go off into different routes. There are people that are within performing arts and love performance that are finding that they're having to take jobs in warehouses or as delivery drivers, and they're having to change up what they're doing. That is aided by essential skills. So please go forward in your choices, knowing that there is no right, there is no wrong. There's only you doing things, hopefully, that you enjoy, developing skills as part of that, and then being able to use those skills to move yourself into different directions and different pathways in the future. And hopefully that alleviates a little bit of pressure for you in terms of, I must get this right, I must make the right decisions, and my world will end if I get it wrong. There is no getting it wrong, okay? Some other kind of little bits of information, a little bit of hopefully helpful tidbits. You don't have to have all the answers right now. So as it stands at the moment, I imagine you've probably just been given your logins for Kent Prospectus, and you've got a bit of time to kind of explore your different options and think about it. Now, you can make as many applications, as many choices as you want to. Now, when it comes to college, we would like you to kind of have 1 to 2 options in terms of your applications. If you are thinking that there are more courses courses that you want, then chances are you could probably really benefit from meeting with one of the careers team to be able to narrow that down. But absolutely, there's nothing wrong that if you want to apply to college and you think, I really like the idea of plumbing and I really like the idea of electrical, I would like to speak to the teams in a bit more detail to find out which one is for me. That's absolutely fine. When we start to get to the realms of kind of 3 applications, that's when we think, okay, maybe this person needs a little bit of support. And that's exactly what we're here for. We can get you a meeting booked with the careers team and we can go through what your options are with you and then hopefully support you in pinpointing maybe 1 or 2 choices that you want to progress with. But in terms of applying to college, applying to sixth form, applying to apprenticeships, you can go for as many as you want to. So if you want to apply to your school, which is Rainham Girls, but you also want to apply to Walderslade Girls, you want to apply to Rainham Mark if you've got the grades, you want to apply to Robert Napier, you can apply to as many schools as you want to. You can apply to as many apprenticeship opportunities as you want to. You can apply to Mid Kent College, you can apply to North Kent College, you can apply to West Kent College, you can apply to Canterbury College. So at this stage, you can keep your options really open, and that then you keep that ticking over. That then really honestly gives you until kind of next August, really, where you might then have to pinpoint one that you would like to move forward with. You will be asked by these different institutions, do you intend on coming here? And they need that for their figures. Your sixth form probably will be very interested in knowing kind of whether you intend on returning, because they'd love to plan timetables and how many lessons and things they need to put on. But at the end of the day, where we are student-centered, we're client-centered, you need to do what's right for you. So if keeping a multiple amount of applications open is the right thing for you, you want to keep your application to sixth form open, you want to keep your application to college, to sixth form and another sixth form open, then by all means do so. And then come August, beginning of September, we're kind of then 6 months or more on, you may feel differently about things, or you might have a little bit more clarity on what you want to do moving forward. Do what feels like a comfortable next step for you. There is all this pressure of 5-year plan and what are you doing in the future? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? This year has shown us that you can't always accommodate for that. And life chucks us curveballs and life pushes in different directions that we never accommodated for or we never planned for. So my advice to you would be, do what feels like a comfortable next step for you. Okay, if coming to college feels like something that is right for you at this moment, then do that. Nothing is final. You can move in different directions in the future if you identify the need to. If staying at your sixth form feels like a good, comfortable next step for you because it's a combination of A levels or maybe A levels and BTECs that you want to study, then absolutely by all means do that. As I say, nothing is ever closed off to you. So if you start down that route and you identify that maybe that isn't the right thing for you anymore, there's always twists and turns that you can take. There's always different kind of forks and offshoots that you can turn off in terms of kind of the pathway that you're taking. So that kind of is my next point, really. There's always the opportunity to really reevaluate your pathway and explore other options. So nothing's final. Okay, if you join college and in the first couple of weeks of joining us you identify that perhaps the subject isn't for you, then possibly if you speak to us quick enough, if you communicate with us, we can see if there's any kind of avenue for you to join a different course. Similarly, if you join sixth form and you think, oh my god, actually A levels aren't for me, I really wish I'd joined college, then once again, if we catch it early enough, then hopefully we can transfer over. But even if you're kind of a bit of a way into it, that's not a problem. There's always the following September. There's different institutions as well that take people on kind of through the academic year. Apprenticeships are rolling all year round. So there's always pathways that you can look at. And as I said from the top, just keep your options open. Just stay really open to the opportunities available to you at the moment. Have a look around, chat with people, do your research, make multiple applications, meet with a careers advisor at school, meet with a careers advisor at Mid Kent College, meet with a careers advisor at Canterbury College. Whatever works for you, have as many conversations as you need to have and keep your options open. Okay? Okay. Final bit from me, because I know I've gone on. If you are unsure, if you're really struggling with this, or if you just want to sound a few things out to somebody, then we would love to meet you for a careers appointment. For those that are external to the college, we are doing most of our careers meetings over the phone. But as I said, what we hopefully can do is support you in identifying a pathway that's suitable for you, that's going to make you happy, that hopefully that you're going to enjoy doing, and we can kind of workshop your options with you and help you to pinpoint something that you might like to progress on to. So yeah, that's everything from me. As I say, we would absolutely love to speak to you. So if anybody does want to book an appointment, our details are on the website, and I'm sure you'll probably be sent a link after this session, or with details of this meeting. So yeah, please do book an appointment. We've got 3 lovely careers advisors, all fully qualified, 100% impartial, 100% client centred, and we'd love to talk to you about your options and how you progress forward with this.
Thank you. That was really good. Thank you. So it's now time for a Q&A. So if you do have any questions, please send them over, because we'd love to hear from you. So I do have one question for you. If I leave college, can I then go on to an apprenticeship?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, apprenticeships are constantly rolling. So if college you decide isn't an option for you anymore, then every week the apprenticeship website, vacancy websites are being updated with opportunities. There are also training providers out there, so they're sort of like smaller colleges, and they are there to support students who want apprenticeship opportunities. Sometimes students might not necessarily be ready to go straight into an apprenticeship. So say, for example, they might need to still do a bit of work on their maths and English, or it could be issues around confidence, or not actually knowing what they want to go into. So there are also some providers who offer sort of pre-apprenticeship type training programs that get students ready. But yeah, absolutely, those types of opportunities are generally available all year round. So you could leave college to go on to an apprenticeship opportunity.
Thank you. We also get asked quite a lot about university. So from college, can students go on to university?
Yeah, absolutely. So at college, we do offer a level 3 extended diploma in most of our subjects, but obviously you would need to check if that's the case for the particular skill area that you want to go into. The level 3 extended diploma is equivalent to 3 A levels. So absolutely, people can access university at the end of that. However, what I would be inclined to do, and this takes me back to the beginning of the presentation, is do your research, because there are some routes that require you to have specific level 3 type qualifications. So for example, if you were looking to go into medicine, it's quite an extreme example, but typically the main route, the traditional route, is 3 A levels, generally involving a combination of science and maths. Now, more and more universities are looking at level 3 applied science as a potential route into medicine. However, they may still also be asking for that to be accompanied by an A level in biology or an A level in chemistry, or both possibly. So do your research first, just to make sure that the universities do accept the level 3 extended diploma. But absolutely, the universities are more and more open to BTEC as a route. And if you take something like art, for example, I've worked at a school prior to kind of being with the college, and actually some of the universities were saying that they love it when students come from a level 3 BTEC in art, because they have immersed themselves in art for 2 years. Whereas the students that I worked with at the school, for example, they would have done art as 1 A level in a combination of art with English and psychology, for example. So they didn't have the opportunity to immerse themselves in it as much as our level 3 BTEC students did. So in some instances, those students were asked to start on perhaps a foundation year, whereas the level 3 BTEC students were able to go straight into the full-blown degree, because they'd had that kind of immersement, that's not even a word, but that involvement in art solidly for 2 years. So in some instances, it could be a preferred route to come in from a BTEC. But that's where it's really important that you do your research and you look at the unis, if uni is on your radar, and you have a look at the entry requirements and you see how they view each level 3 route.
Okay, this probably ties on then, because we've got a message from Brandon who said, I'd like to be a lawyer. Do you have a course for that?
Okay, so for law, you once again, I think traditionally it's still the A level route. However, you can go in kind of the route of, if you're looking at kind of what we offer, I would say something like business, and also sounds a bit odd, but something like applied science, because it's sort of more of an academic route, and people do go off into law from a science background. So yeah, absolutely, you could look at college, and I would say perhaps business and science would be sort of the closest linking subjects, if that's something that, if law was something you're looking to do. Also as well, if depending on what aspect of law, because it is a very broad kind of concept, you could also look at something like public services, because we do a lot in terms of community. They explore the police force, law, that kind of thing, that it does come up within public services. So that might be something that you want to explore, but it is very dependent on what aspect of law you want to go into. So once again, it's about doing your research, identifying areas that you want to get into, and then if it requires you to go to university, then having a look at how they view it.
Okay, thank you. So I'm now going to do a quick bit about the college in general. If you do have any more questions, please send them over and we'll see if we can get to them at the end. So you may or might know that Mid-Kent College is 2 campuses. We have our Medway campus and our Maidstone campus. Both are multi-million-pound facilities full of workshops, salons, restaurants, coffee shops. Both have fantastic libraries, careers hubs, support teams, and are both easily accessible by public transport, which is obviously great. So when you come and join one of our programs, you join onto a study program. So for example, if you picked plumbing, that would cover your technical and professional qualification. And then depending on what you came to us with, you do your English and maths, and that might be stretch and challenge, GCSE or functional skills. We also do your industry placement. Now that's a great opportunity to really stretch your skills that you've learned at college and put them into the industry. We do encourage you to try and find them yourself, but we have a great support of staff who are ready and waiting to help you find your placement as well. And we also do personal development. Now, that can be anything from mental health to work-ready interviews. So yes, we do offer apprenticeships, and Rachel did mention apprenticeships earlier, so that could be a route for you. These are the list that we currently offer and at different levels. So please go onto our website and check that out. If you are interested in apprenticeships, we actually do have a separate webinar all about apprenticeships, just like this one. So where you logged in for this session, if you go back onto our website, you can log on for that as well. And when you do join an apprenticeship here, you get a training officer, and they're there to support you, and they'll come in to where you are working with your employer, and they're really a guide throughout your whole process when you're at college. So we get common questions that always come to us, and one of them is, how many days per week can I be in college? Now, usually if you're a 16 to 18-year-old on a full-time program, you're looking between 3 and 3.5 days a week, plus your industry placement hours. Can I study more than one subject area? Well, we're not like A-levels. So when you come onto the course, you pick one subject, like I said, plumbing, and then you'd do the additional, like we just mentioned earlier, come onto the study program, which I said on the previous slide. Can I go to university? Well, Rachel's already answered that one. So of course, yes, you can. Our level 3 qualify for UCAS points. And is there a deadline to apply? Well, our application process is now open. So if you do have a subject in mind, if you haven't already applied, then do apply. We really do encourage you to apply as soon as possible so that you get a place, because some of our courses do fill up very quickly. So if you want to ensure that you have a space here at Mid-Kent College, then definitely do apply. If you, for whatever reason, joined onto the course and apply, and there is the courses are full, then we will be in contact when a space does become available. So the best thing to do is apply. But if you wanted to look and you're thinking, oh, I might struggle with the application process, if you look at the top of the handouts, we do have a step-by-step on the application process. So please have a look at that before the end of the session. So support available. Obviously, coming to college can be quite a daunting and scary prospect. So we have quite a lot of support available to you. We have financial support. And once again, if you go to the handout section at the top of the screen, we actually have a download for financial support. So please do download that. We also have student welfare and trained counsellors. So if you do need to talk to somebody, we have teams available to do that. In-class support and our fantastic careers advisors. And one of them you've just met. And if you do need any additional learning support, then please go to our website and click on the Health and Advice tab, and there's lots of information on there for you. So like I said, if you haven't applied already, please go and apply. It's the best thing to do is head to our website, which is above my head, or down below in front of you. Please check out all the programs that we have on offer. Now, if you do apply, please put your predicted grades in. And once you've sent off your application, you should hear from one of our admissions team within 30 days. And that's where they'll arrange a telephone interview with your tutor. Don't panic, it's not scary. And it's a great opportunity to ask lots of questions. And then from there, that's when you'll be given your place. So after this webinar's finished, you might think, oh, I need more help, I need to ask more questions, that's absolutely fine. We want to hear from you, and we have a fantastic course inquiries team as well that you can contact us on. So they have 3 different ways you can contact them. You can call them on 01634 40 20 20, or you can email them at course.inquiries@midkent.ac.uk, or you can head to our website above my head. And when you go onto our website, a live chat box will pop up and you can instantly message them. Now, actually, today they're here till 8 o'clock tonight. So if you do have any questions after this webinar, please go on there and you can talk to them. But they're always on hand to answer any of your questions. Now, I don't think we've got any more questions that have come through, which is great. If you do have any more questions and or you feel like, actually, I've forgotten half the things that we've talked about today, don't panic. This video will get sent out to you so you can recap any of the information that myself or Rachel have said today. So don't panic. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining the webinar today. Thank you for our fantastic staff behind the scenes answering the questions, and to Rachel for being here today. Hope you have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see some of your faces very soon. Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye.